Hello and welcome to the first of our Advent of Code movies. This movie is going to tell you everything you need to know about Advent of Code and show you how to get started. First things first, how do you find Advent of Code on the internet? Well, it's easy. You could Google it, or even quicker than that, you could go to their website, which is adventofcode.com. But wait a minute, what is the Advent of Code? Well, it's an advent calendar, a bit like the one you might have on your wall at home in December, where you get a piece of chocolate or a plastic toy every day. But instead of the toy or the chocolate, what you get is a programming challenge, a puzzle you have to solve by writing a computer program. Every day from the 1st of December all the way through to Christmas Day, 25th of December, a new puzzle is revealed. The first puzzles are fairly easy, but as the month goes on, they get increasingly more difficult. You also tend to find that the puzzles at the weekend are a bit harder because people have more time to work on the puzzles then. Each year there's also a story that links all of the puzzles together and makes the whole experience a lot more fun. I won't give you any spoilers for what the stories are, but normally they involve some sort of Christmas related activity with a load of science and electronics and robotics thrown in for good measure. Let's have a quick look at a puzzle. To start off with, you'll see that there's a year on the screen. So these are the puzzles from the year 2020. If I click on number 1, I can see the puzzle for the first day, and it tells me the story, gives me some examples, but I can't actually enter the competition. I can't actually submit my entry yet. In order to do that, I need to log on to the website. So let's have a look at doing that first of all. If you want to log in, you click on the login button. There's a number of ways you can log in if you have accounts on any of these platforms already. If you've already done some programming, you may already have an account on GitHub. You can sign in with your GitHub account. If you've got a Google account, you can sign in here. And equally, if you use Twitter or Reddit, you can sign in. Every day, the puzzle has 2 parts, and you collect 1 gold star for every part that you successfully finish. So by the end of the 25 days of Advent of Code, you should have 50 gold stars. And at that point, that year's picture will be completely revealed. How do you go about creating a program to solve an Advent of Code puzzle? Well, we're going to cover a few examples in some of our next movies. But one thing that's really important to note is you can use any programming language you like. You could use Python, Haskell, Ruby, JavaScript, Java, C, C++, any language you can think of. You don't have to submit your program at the end, just submit the answer to the puzzle, which will normally be a number or a word or a string of characters. If you're a competitive type of person, you might be interested in the Advent of Code leaderboards. If you select any year's event and click on the leaderboard at the top, you'll see the global leaderboard. Every time you solve a puzzle, you get a gold star. But also, if you're the fastest person to solve that day's puzzle, you get 100 points. If you're second, you get 99 points, all the way down to getting 1 point for the 100th place. So, if you look here, this is a list of some of the best programmers who solved the Advent of Code puzzles in 2020. Now, I have to say, it's highly unlikely that you will get onto the global leaderboard. Some of the people on here are, I think, probably some of the best programmers in the world, and they can solve Advent of Code puzzles in just a few minutes. However, that's fine, because Advent of Code allows you to create a private leaderboard. If you click on here, it will allow you to create one, which I'm going to do now. And there it gives you a code. You can share that leaderboard code with your friends, and then you'll be able to see how you do against them. It works the same kind of way. The faster you solve it, the more points you get. Another interesting thing you can look at on Advent Code are the statistics for the puzzles. If you click on the stats link, it will show you how many people have completed each puzzle. So you can see that on day 1, lots of people got 2 gold stars and quite a few got just 1 gold star. But as the month went on and the puzzles became a bit more difficult, and I think people ended up spending their time at Christmas parties rather than writing programs, the numbers got much smaller. Advent of Code has been running for 5 years now. The first set of puzzles were released in 2015. And you can still go back and enjoy those puzzles now. If you click on the events link from any of the pages, it will give you a list of all the different Advent of Code events, going right the way back to 2015. Just click on the one that you're interested in and you'll see all the puzzles there available for you. You can enter these at any time.